What's going on, guys? We're here with a brand new video, and I got to talk about another UFC bantamweight matchup that's going to take place in that division soon in UFC 278. And this is going to be a matchup between the two kings, not two kings of their respective divisions, but two kings from their respective countries. I'm talking about the king of Georgia, Merab Dvalishvili, with a record of 14-4. He's currently riding a 7-fight win streak, and he's the current number 6 ranked UFC bantamweight in the world, versus the king of Rio de Janeiro, Jose Aldo, 31-7, 17 KOs in his career, the former featherweight champion of the world, defended his title 7 successful times, and he was basically undefeated as a champion for many years until he ended up facing Max Holloway, lost the belt really badly, and ended up, actually, I'm sorry, he did not lose the belt to Max Holloway. He lost it to Conor McGregor pretty badly. He got knocked out really fast, became the interim champion, then the champion again, lost to Max Holloway again in the rematch, and then after that he was up and down in the featherweight division until he decided to make a change. He decided to go down in weight. He ended up going to the UFC bantamweight division, moving down a weight class, and his UFC bantamweight division debut was against his fellow countryman Marlon Moraes, and he ended up losing that fight, but in the eyes of many people, including myself, he won that fight. Even though it was a close one, he rocked Marlon plenty of times, but the judges ended up basically screwing him over, but it is what it is. His next fight after that was for the vacant UFC bantamweight championship of the world against Peter Yan. He basically had some great flashes in that fight. It was looking good plenty of times, but it was just the onslaught, the crisp striking, the elite striking, and the intense ground and pound from Peter Yan that eventually put him away. But ever since then, he's been up and down in the division, but he's finally found some consistency in the bantamweight division. He's currently on a 3-fight winning streak. He defeated Marlon Chidavera, Pedro Munoz, and most recently Rob Font. And when we're talking about Merab Dvalishvili, like I said, if you guys see my last video, when it comes to him, he's from Georgia. He didn't really grow up with too much. The same thing with Jose Aldo. Both these individuals didn't grow up in the middle class or the high class. They worked for everything they had, and eventually found themselves mixed up in the world of mixed martial arts, basically fighting for their lives and fighting for their families in order to change their lives once and for all, and both of them have absolutely done that. Jose Aldo doing it in his country, and Merab Dvalishvili having to move from Georgia all the way to New York City, Long Island, basically, to train with Matt Serra, Ray Longo, the champ, Aljamain Sterling, to really be able to change his life, because Georgia is not a big mixed martial arts country so far. There are a good amount of fighters from there, but like I said, in order for Merab to be really successful, he had to move to New York in order to pursue his career. But Jose Aldo has basically done that in Rio de Janeiro, in his home city, in his hometown, his whole entire life. So basically, big ups to both these fighters. And the reason why I call them kings of their respective countries is because they've really been trailblazers, especially Merab. Ever since Merab has joined the UFC, we've been seeing the influx of Georgian fighters come in to the promotion. And ever since Jose Aldo's been on fire, defending his title so many different times, he's basically inspired so many young fighters in the country of Brazil that basically has a population of 213 or 212 million people to fight. A lot of young men want to fight, a lot of young women want to fight because of Jose Aldo. Both these guys are pioneers for their respective countries, and they've been doing great in the UFC. But like I said, Merab is currently running a 7-fight win streak, and he's the real deal. Obviously, the last time that I saw him lose was during his UFC debut against Ricky Simón. It was controversial. Ricky Simón had him in a submission attempt. I believe it was a reverse guillotine, and it didn't look like Marlon tapped, but the referee thought he did, so he ended up basically calling off the fight. And like I said, there's controversy, but it is what it is. Ever since that fight, Merab hasn't lost ever since. He hasn't lost a fight ever since, and he's just been on fire. He's been defeating the likes of Josh Dodson, Cody Stamann, and most recently the biggest win of his career against Marlon Moraes, where he got stung in the first round, ended up coming back and basically finishing Marlon Moraes, which was basically one of the biggest comebacks ever seen in all of mixed martial arts history. And there's been a lot of them, but that was definitely one of the most notable ones over the last couple years that I've seen. And when it comes to these two fighters, we all know that Jose Aldo is a well-rounded mixed martial artist, but he likes to get it done when it comes to the striking department. And Merab, even though Merab is still working on the striking, we all know that his bread and butter is the wrestling. They call him the machine for a reason because he's always looking for the takedown. He's always looking to take you down, and he'll go up to at least 20, 21 takedown attempts to try to take his opponent down, to try to be able to soften them up with a little bit of ground and pound and really hit them with the big shots in order to finish the fight. And Jose Aldo, like I said, even though he's getting old up in age, he still has a lot of juice in the tank. Like I said in my last video when it came to Dominic Cruz, even though Jose Aldo is a legend, he still has a lot to give. And I believe he still believes that he can be a champion in the UFC and another division and be able to put the accolade in his belt, being a two-division champion. And it's not going to be easy against Merab, but if I'm Jose Aldo, you have to expect that the takedowns are going to come from Merab, so you're definitely going to have to use a lot of defense when it comes to the sprawling, when it comes to the underhooks and overhooks and the underhooks. And if Merab's trying to go for a double leg takedown, definitely use your jiu-jitsu. Definitely, you want to threaten some attempts in there when it comes to the takedown attempts. You want to at least put in a guillotine attempt or an anaconda or a Darce choke in order to use that as defense against the takedown attempts. Because like I said, Merab is an individual with a lot of energy. Jose Aldo is an individual with a lot of energy who's been through many 5-round fights. Also, main card fights as well. And not just main card fights, but main event. He's been a main eventer for a very, very long time in his career, and he deserves every single inch of it. And what those main event fights comes 5 rounds. It comes 5 rounds of experience, 5 rounds of knowledge, 5 rounds of basically cardio that you're going to continue to keep building up in your career. And ever since his move down to the bantamweight division, I don't think I've ever seen Jose Aldo get tired. He's still a ball of energy, and he still has really good movement. And this fight is definitely going to be a battle of attrition because both these individuals are not going to back down from one another. Like I said, Merab is definitely going to have to use his takedown attempts and watch out for the submission attempts from Jose Aldo that he's going to use as defense and really try to lock up his arms. Because obviously if you're going down for a takedown attempt and you lock up those arms, that takedown is basically guaranteed. As long as you can lock up those arms, elevate them, and then bring it down to the ground, then you're on top of him. It doesn't matter if you have side mount, if you have half mount, or full mount on there. As long as you have him to the ground, Merab's really good at keeping his opponents down on the ground when he takes them down. And if he can really be able to implement some of the wrestling tactics that Peter Yan was able to use on Jose Aldo, then he's going to have a lot of success in this fight. If Jose Aldo can keep this on the feet the whole entire time and really use his striking, then I really do believe that he has the ability to take out Merab. Merab was hurt against Marlon Moraes plenty of times in that fight in the first round. Jose Aldo has been known to hurt plenty of individuals during his career in the featherweight division, also in his career in the bantamweight division so far as well. So if he can be able to overwhelm Marlon Moraes with the strikes, really cut his angles, and really make Marlon commit to a lot of mistakes, and just mix up the strikes beautifully, mix them up to the legs, to the body, to the head, then I don't believe that it's going to be a long day in the office for Merab. So I really do like this matchup a lot. I really do love it. And I think when it comes to this fight, I'm going to give my prediction right now. I believe that the King of Rio de Janeiro is going to beat the King of Georgia, and Merab's 7-fight win streak is going to come to an end, and Jose Aldo's win streak is going to be increased to 4, and he's going to get one step closer to fighting for a championship. And I believe with this win, he can be able to fight for a championship as well, because like I said, the top 4 fighters in the division are basically all stacked. They're all booked, and with this win, I believe Jose Aldo will be the next fight for the winner of Aljamain Sterling versus the former champion TJ Dillashaw, which I believe is going to be the next fight that the UFC is going to go with for the title picture in the UFC bantamweight division. I hope you guys like this fight. I hope you guys love this fight. I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes to UFC 278. It's going to be happening in the next couple of months. And like I said, it's going to be a good one, It's going to be a good one. And I know you guys are going to like it a lot. And so am I. What do you guys think about this video? Who do you guys think is going to win? And what do you think is going to be the next step for both these guys, whether they win or lose? Appreciate you guys for watching the video. As always, take it easy, stay safe, and stay blessed. Later, guys.